Britain's rental market is at breaking point.
I have 2 children. I'm living in what is like a crack den.
She's just chatting her straight up.
With not enough homes to go round.
No one should be allowed to live like this. This is unacceptable.
This is our home. This ain't his land.
Soaring rents.
I'm going to have to mortgage my pension to pay this debt off.
What a hell of a strain on me. You still have to kill a person.
Oh, my God.
Squalid conditions.
I'm gonna have to climb over the settee with my shoes off.
This could be criminal negligence.
Spiralling property fraud.
I'll see you in court.
You guys ain't meant to be here, so we have a problem.
Bedsits to mansions.
Hello, enforcement agent.
Squats to drug farms.
They have been growing cannabis.
This is Nightmare Tenants.
Get your hands off me, dog. No. Do not put your hands on me, all right? I will not stand for that.
Slum Landlords.
It's a very difficult and very unfortunate situation to be in. He has been abusive to the tenants in the house. A lot of threatening behaviour.
6 months ago, landlord David Coppin bought an HMO with 6 bedsits and tenants already in place.
So I've inherited somebody who's causing trouble in the house with the tenants and also refusing to pay his rent. So I had to decide whether I frankly carried on with the purchase or not, but I decided to because that's what I promised to do.
To get the tenant out, he's relying on eviction expert Paul Champlainer. Paul knows all about the property and the troublesome tenant because 3 weeks earlier he served him with an eviction notice on behalf of the previous landlord.
I think he's going to be abusive, he's maybe threatening, and I'm going to confront him to say this is the new landlord, and actually you can't abuse and bully this landlord like you did the old landlord.
Today, with the help of security,
You all right?
Paul wants to serve a new eviction notice on behalf of David.
Why don't we go in, knock on the door and have a chat with him to see why he hasn't left. Right. And obviously introduce him to you as well.
There we go.
From what I was being told, this tenant appeared to be a bit of a bully. He was confrontational, quite aggressive. So, yeah, sometimes you're apprehensive, but you've just got to be on your toes and you've got to be wary of the situation. Hello, mate. You know, open the door? My name's Paul, I'm from Landlord Action. I'm with the landlord, David. What's that, mate? Well, I'll just have a little chat with you. It's about the outstanding rent and just about the notice that's been served. Do you want to come to the door and have a chat? No? Shall I post something under the door for you? You see me in court? Oh, right, OK, so you're not going to leave, no? Are you going to leave in 2 weeks? Right, OK, so no more abusive, no more antisocial behaviours while you're here, yeah? I'm going to post the stuff under the door for you. Yeah? It's been served. Right. What's that? What? I'm not coming into your room.
Come to my room like that. Stop disturbing me like that. You can't do that.
I'm not disturbing you. I'm not coming in your room. Yeah? But you've been served. I'm not coming into your room. I'm not coming into your room. You've been served, and let's see if you leave. If you want to go to court, we'll go to court. But don't abuse the other tenants. And don't threaten them. No, I've got statements. Don't threaten other tenants and don't be a bully. He doesn't like his own medicine. You stand up to him, he's a bully.
Yeah.
I don't like bullies. Anyway, we've served it. He reckons he's going to leave in 2 weeks. Okay? Yeah. Who knows? The longer the guy's in there and the longer he's harassing and making other tenants' lives hell, you're going to end up losing all the other tenants.
Exactly.
And it's going to cost you a lot of money.
And they're good people.
They're good people.
I don't want to do that. Paul, police are here.
The tenant has told the police he's being harassed.
But at no time have we been threatening. I serve the notices underneath the door.
I just call it using the system. I'm not surprised he's called the police in.
Yeah.
Try and use whatever he can against you.
Yeah, it's a complete waste of police time.
While the police are here, one of David's tenants wants to lodge a complaint.
He just busted in the door while I was in the bathroom.
You're joking?
No, he did that now.
Is he harassing you and everyone else in the property? There's been plenty of calls here beforehand, so I'm sure it's been marked the property. The tenant was making all these accusations that he was the victim, but of course the landlord's the victim. He hasn't had rent for months.
All right, thank you.
And of course, the other people sharing this building are the victims who he's been abusing.
Worried for tenants. They should not feel threatened in their own environment. You know, that's not right. And I don't run the house like that.
With the tenant showing no signs of leaving in 2 weeks, as promised, it's looking like David will have little choice but to take him to court.
It's a bit of a scruffy sod. You know, it can't be allowed to carry on.
Letting agent Paul Ainsworth Lord is about to inspect a shared house he looks after.
I've got 3 young lads, so I've been getting complaints about the untidy lad leaving a mess everywhere. So I just wanted to nip down and see what they're on about.
The untidy tenant hasn't paid any rent for 10 weeks and owes nearly £900.
Oh, it's not locked. It's not very clever. God, that's grim. This is what I'm getting complaints about, making a mess. Not locking up. Don't get it. What they don't put the bins out. And this is what we're having to deal with. That's a lot of rubbish. Right, let's have a quick look upstairs. Two tortoises in here. The turtles. The bloody hell. There's no pets allowed. You're not supposed to have bloody turtles or tortoises or whatever they are in Bath. This is a shared house.
It appears the same tenant is keeping 2 terrapins, usually kept in tanks or ponds, not a bath.
You can understand a rabbit running around out of its cage, but you know, these turtles messing around in the bath. I thought, that's weird. How long have they been there? Nobody else can have a shower, nobody can have a bath. You can't have this. I'll tell you what. Do you know there's always something new comes along that you've never experienced before, and this is a first. I've never gone to an house where they've got turtles in the bath. There's plenty of life in them. It's trying to get out. Never get out of there, pal.
Next.
Oh my God.
In Wigan.
There's condoms everywhere.
Ugh.
The rest of the tenants are scared of him.
In London.
To put it mildly, I'm very disappointed.
Can you leave, please? Ask who's these terrapins.
I don't know.
And in Blackburn.
Can you move out the house, please, mate? I've come back from work. I want to chill out.
So much audacity in my life. I can't believe this.
Letting agent Paul Ainsworth Lord has found 2 terrapins at a shared house he rents out.
Well, this is not on. This clearly is not on. I think I can work out who these belong to.
He believes they're owned by the tenant who's been upsetting his housemates and is 10 weeks behind the rent.
Oh, great, this, isn't it? I didn't hit the door casing off. Must have locked himself out. That's took somebody getting off. No, something not right.
The tenant arrives home.
Hey, you just come in back door.
Can you leave, please?
No, I need to ask who's these terrapins
I don't know. Will you move out of the house, please, mate? I've come back from work. I want to chill out.
If it was a firework, you'd light the blue touch paper, then stand well back.
You won't get a penny off me, and we'll pay it at the end.
There's no time to step back. It just goes off immediately, and that's what I was dealing with. Your space is...
I pay for
your
this house.
space.
Can you leave, please?
You pay for your room.
Please, can you leave, please?
You pay for your room.
Right, I'll go to my room then.
Everyone's complaining about the kitchen, the bathroom. Everything's pointing at you.
Wow! I'm going to go to jail for hurting you. I don't want to hit you. You're a bit old. I'm going to jail. I don't hurt. I've been in jail for 7 years.
I'll come back tomorrow when you calm down. Hey, he's a bit excited, isn't he? Last time I spoke to him, nice lad. Saw a different side of him tonight. Started getting his stripping off like ready for a boxing match. What he said he was going to do to me, well, if everyone said they were going to do what they said they're going to do, probably won't be in hell, but clearly I hit a nerve asking questions about kitchen and bathroom and terrapins and what happened to his door. We'll see what tomorrow brings. Have you calmed down now?
The next day, the tenant calls Paul.
So you're coming in on Friday between 11:30 and 1, that's all right. And you're going to pay 2,900. Right, so I'll see you on Friday then, yeah? All right, fella, good lad. All right, see you then. Cheers. That was strange. Nice as ninepence again. Said he's got arrears of 960 as of today, and he's going to come in on Friday and pay 2,900. I'm thinking, okay, I'll take the 2,900 off you, but you only owe 960. I said, I'll put you well in front. And he said, yeah, I'd rather be in front. It's all well and good paying his rent up front, but we want him to leave. If we have to kick him out in the meantime, I'll just do him a rent refund. It's not a problem. He's not right for that property. He needs to be in a flat on his own. Somebody with that kind of explosive personality, it's not fair on the other tenants.
The tenant didn't come to the office to settle the rent as promised. 4 months on, and Paul has no choice but to start eviction proceedings. But the COVID-19 lockdown restrictions have held things up. The terrapins have now been rehomed.
They shouldn't have to live in an environment in which they feel threatening.
It's been 3 months since landlord David Coppin asked his abusive tenant to leave his bedsit. The tenant now owes him £3,300 in rent and is still causing upset for the other tenants.
It is very stressful because the other tenants come to me for advice and for help and saying, please get rid of him, please get rid of him.
This guy had to go. He was making life hell for the rest of the tenants living in that house.
Today, the case is due to be heard by a judge.
See you in court, see you in court. He sent that message to me a few times on the mobile phone. It sounded like he was actually enjoying the process, not paying me anything, and just stretching it out as far as he can. Very unpleasant guy. To put it mildly, I'm very disappointed, and that's as polite as I can put it today. The judge has asked for an adjournment because he's brought up some technical issues on harassment and rental payments to the previous landlady, which were not detailed. Yeah, not a good result.
That's the problem, you know, they turn up to court last minute, they say there's a defence, they make accusations, and you have a 2-3 minute hearing. They play the system.
Yeah.
Tenants turn up last minute, with a defence, it's the oldest trick in the book because the judge can't physically deal with a case there and then. He's got loads of other cases, so then he adjourns the case to another date for a longer time. Let's wait the 7 days. Let's see if he files that defence, and then obviously we'll make sure, witness statement-wise and everything, we're prepared for the next hearing to get your possession order.
All right.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye-bye now.
Bye, Paul. Bye. I shouldn't have to go through this. It's time-consuming, it's stressful, it's costly. There should be a better way of dealing with this, but there isn't.
David will have to return to court, which will cost yet more money. In the meantime, he has another expensive problem to deal with.
I'm going to the house today to have a bill for some damages he's done, because I had a report from a tenant that he was having an argument with her and he'd smashed the stained glass window by the door. If he doesn't pay the £450, I mean, I have to pay for it, on top of everything else. Adds insult to injury. The rest of the tenants are scared of him. It's frustrating for me to tell the tenants that I don't know when he'll actually be going. I mean, I run the risk all along that the good tenants who are there will leave. So I need to get this guy out as quick as I can. This is the door here. I've had to secure it temporarily to make it safe. I've just got a letter for you here. This is the bill for the door. The instructions are in there. Can you please try and get the money into the account as soon as possible? Thank you.
You know what, David's a good landlord. He just wants tenants to live in a safe property and treat it like a home.
I think one of the tenants is here. She was having trouble with him. I'll see if she's in. Hi, Imogen. I'm just actually trying to find out, are you having any more trouble with him?
Yeah, I have some problem with him.
What's he been doing?
He doesn't act normal. He's just shouting and running in the corridor all the time, opening the door and closing, very, noisy. And then, sorry, and at the night, midnight, I'm just sleeping. He just shouting and listening to music and then playing some game very loud. So yeah, it's not normal. Actually, I'm not happy with.
Antisocial.
Yeah.
Well, we're trying to ask him to leave, but he's causing us some legal problems. So
sure,
we're doing my best for you.
Yeah, of course.
Hopefully soon.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
First day I came here, I had a very bad experience with him. He's been very aggressive to me. This house is very beautiful, but he destroyed it. It's not normal.
That's the kind of tenant I don't want to lose. She's good. So she has the worst case scenario. She's living underneath him and we'll be glad to see the back of him, I'm sure.
David has another court day booked. He's pinning all his hopes, and the hopes of his tenants, on a good outcome.
Am I good your side, Gem? Yes.
Karen O'Connor and Gemma Painter from Lobster Lettings are hoping that a tenant who's cost his own father thousands has left the property he's been renting.
I'm sure his dad will be delighted to hear that it's coming to an end. Yeah. Such a sad story. Poor guy.
The tenant hasn't paid a penny's rent since the day he moved in 12 months ago, but his dad, who's acting as guarantor, has bailed him out, paying the £6,000 himself.
He's paid that additional rent month in, month out, every month.
I don't understand how someone can take a property and then never pay a penny's rent, knowing that your guarantor is going to be liable for it. What kind of person does that?
With the tenant's contract at an end, they're hoping to take back possession of the property, though they have no idea what condition it's going to be in.
Last inspection was 6 months ago, wasn't it? And it was okay then.
It can be quite concerning going into properties when you don't know what's there, what's behind the door, what you're going to find.
Doesn't look great from this, does it? Not a good start.
I'm hoping that everything's going to be fine and there are going to be no issues.
Oh my God. Oh dear. Why do people do this?
There's clearly nobody living here. There's condoms everywhere. There's one here and one stuck on there.
People have actually been having sex in here. In this condition, because it's thrown on the top of that stuff. Ugh. How low would you feel if he brought you back here?
They're clearly not bothered. It's disgusting.
So that's 2 months old. That milk. Is that bread?
It is bread.
Oh my God. Put it in a bin bag. He's obviously lived this way.
A bowl full of hair.
Seriously? The guarantor's going to be heartbroken.
Clearly the boiler's still here.
Oh dear. Smashed window. He's wrecked the kitchen. This was brand new 12 months ago.
Yeah.
He's wrecked it. Let's go and have a look upstairs. I don't want to touch anything. Oh. The state of that toilet.
Being a letting agent, it's probably the least glamorous job.
Don't know what it is, but it's liquidy and there's flies coming off it.
I've had more flea bites than hot dinners.
I don't know why I always feel the need to be inquisitive. I should just walk away from the bag.
That's not normal. This is definitely wipe your feet on the way out.
Smash the socket.
I'm glad that it was us that found it and not the landlord, because it would be devastating for a landlord to walk in and see that. The massive chunk of glass there, so what's that from? I don't understand these people. It was horrendous. So there's quite a big refurb that needs to happen here. Full clearance, new carpets, new kitchen doors at least.
Decoration, sockets, the glass in the back door.
Full clean. We need to get in touch with the guarantor and let him know that this is what we found. Nightmare. Seeing this makes me really sad because the property was brand new. He's just trashed it. I think the dad will be heartbroken and mortified. It's already hard enough that he's had to pay out £6,000 worth of rent, and still his son's caused this unnecessary damage and left this mess. For him to then pick up as guarantor is heartbreaking.
Some tenants don't treat the house like it's their own and have no respect. Let it go to rack and ruin.
Right, let's go.
Karen and Gemma have the property back, but it costs £3,600 to repair the damage, meaning the tenant's guarantor, his dad, had to fork out £9,000 in total. Next.
All right.
In London.
He's gone. It's been a long, expensive task.
And in Blackburn.
Blooming everywhere. Don't get rid of them, just never go. So we've got a situation we need to sort out, don't we? We can do it either the easy way or the hard way.
Two months have passed since landlord David Coppin had his case to evict his antisocial tenant adjourned. Now owed £4,400 in missing rent, he's back in court, hoping to finally regain possession of his property.
I'm rather hoping that we're going to get the court order today. Wait and see what happens, but I'm hopeful anyway, so it's fingers crossed.
Advocate Emma Fanochiga is overseeing the process.
Hiya.
Hi. How are you?
I'm fine.
We'll have to wait and see if the defendant does turn up. If he does, we'll see if he's trying to defend the case, and then we'll have to go from there.
I don't want to see him. Not here. Thanks very much, that was brilliant.
You're welcome.
We've got the result we wanted.
The tenant doesn't show up, and David has been granted a possession order.
Thanks very much. Okay, bye.
If the tenant isn't out within 14 days, he can call in bailiffs. But David hopes the no-show means he's already left.
He keeps sending me messages that he's going to go and then never does, and I'm going to go and he never does. So I'm going to go around there, see if he has gone. I don't want to spend another £1,000 plus on bailiff's fees and all the court fees and things if he's gone. Well, he's left the keys in, so I'm going to have a look and see what we've got. All right. Well, he's clearly left. There's not a thing in the room. And to his credit, he has left it nice and clean and tidy. Got a door off the wardrobe there. Oh, the bed's a bit shot. But he's gone, he's clean, and it won't take too much to get this ready for somebody else. So that's good news today. Brilliant.
Hello?
Hi, Paul, it's David. Got a court order.
Fantastic. Have you been to did you go to the property?
Yeah, I'm actually in the room. The room is in a good condition.
So, good riddance to him, and hopefully that you can get some decent tenants in now that can appreciate it, and all the other tenants can live in peace.
Yep, all good stuff. Yep. Thanks, Paul. Thanks for your help.
You're welcome.
It's taken 8 months and nearly £7,000 in lost rent, damages and legal expenses, but David can now finally put his experience behind him.
I'm feeling great. The other good news is I've had a message asking for a room of this size, and I know the family, so I'm going to get it ready and rent it out to somebody else whom I know I can trust.
With over 800 rental properties on his books, dealing with difficult tenants is all part of the job for Paul Ainsworth Lord. Today he has another tricky case on his hands, as 2 of his tenants have done a runner halfway through their tenancy, owing £4,000 in rent.
He decides to go around and check out the house, see if they had actually left, and sure enough, they'd done one.
And they've left behind a nasty surprise.
When he gets back to the office, my ankles and my feet were my legs were itching everywhere. I didn't really think anything much of it. I just thought, well, what's going on there? And as it turns out, blooming bitten with fleas, isn't it? It's making me itch thinking about it, actually. This is the one. A lot of tenants, they expect everybody else to pick up behind them. You all right, Connor? Yeah, you all right, yeah? Comes a point where you got to start picking up your own stuff and taking responsibility of your own space. And there's a lot of tenants that, in many ways, haven't left home. Cupboard doors hanging off. It's thick of oil, grease. The floor there, you can just see it. Really thick with grease. That's fresh damage to skirting. Dead fly collection. I don't think the cleaners are going to thank me when I ask them to come and do this job. To leave it like this is not the deal. Yeah? They've made a mess, so we're not happy with that.
This is the second time Paul's colleague Connor has tackled the infestation.
So we use, what, 2 or 3 in each room? Yeah. Depending on these paper suits, just keeps you clean. But in this case, stops you from getting bitten.
Yeah.
So I'm going to leave Connie to it because I don't want to get bitten.
Normally, we'd use one per room, but this were full of fleas. It were completely ridden, the carpets. They got up my legs, so they were biting. So that should get rid of the problem.
Later, Paul returns to see if it's worked.
You can see we've still got some fleas here, so we're going to have to get it done again. We gave this a proper good fumigating, and to think that we've still got these fleas here tells me it was a bad dose of fleas. If we don't get rid of them, they'll just never go. They'll just get worse. In fact, they're blooming everywhere. We're mindful that we've got to get it turned around quick. You know, we've lost a week and a half with the fumigating. Landlord will be getting a council tax bill, and obviously no rent. They've got a mortgage to pay, so got to get it turned around pretty quick. Oh, we need to get out of here. Next job now is to go and find the guarantor and have a word with them about the arrears and the cost of this job. You misbehave, you create any damage, you don't pay your rent, then the guarantor has to step in and cover you. If you become a problem, you're the guarantor's problem. I dare say this will come as a bit of a shock. It's not like the postman, you expect him to tip up about dinner time every day. Shame, I feel sorry for them. But it is what it is, and what can I do?
The mother of one of the tenants has guaranteed the rent.
I know I've got to get the rent off somebody. As much as I feel awful, I've got a job to do. That's just how it is. Hiya. It's Paul from Ainsworth Law Estates. Not good news today, unfortunately, but I'd rather do it in face-to-face. You acted as guarantor, and they've got some arrears, and they basically did a flip from the house. They left a load of stuff in the house, and it was, for want of a word, pretty minging. Yeah. And it was riddled with fleas. To be a guarantor for somebody, it's a very serious responsibility. So where we're at is with the bill here, £4,500, roughly speaking. Would I be a guarantor? No. Don't care how well I know him. Never nice news, and I'm just the messenger. You're the victim, just like the landlord.
I've had a decent landlord, he may still be there.
Yeah.
No. There are rats in the place, and holes in the floor, and the holes in the wall. So it was a bit disgusting, really, like the place.
We have to create win-wins, keep everybody happy, and if we can achieve that, we're doing a good job. Now, how you keep everybody happy is all about keeping the money flowing. Now's the real time we would have a discussion of how best to resolve this. So this is like the contractual amount. So you're saying they've got issues with this, this and this. We would take all that into account, speak to the landlord and reach a settlement.
They won't be able to afford to pay it, and I certainly can't pay it.
What I can be sure of is this figure ain't disappearing. There's perhaps some massaging can be done on that, but it ain't disappearing. If you make a sensible offer, I can see if I can get them to agree it.
If an agreement between the landlord and guarantor can't be reached, both face a costly legal battle.
Sorry a bit to be the bearer of bad news. Thanks for talking. See ya. I'm pretty confident we're going to reach a good settlement on this. I don't want it to drag on. The quicker it is resolved, the better it is for all parties, I always think. It's a shame, but it's what happens. So always be careful when you're being a guarantor. It's Paul from Ainsworth Estates. Do you know why I'm ringing? You've got an idea. Probably right.
A week later, and Paul is speaking to the tenant.
I've got an account balance here of £4,416. So we've got a situation we need to sort out, don't we?
He's keen to do what he can to avoid lumbering his mother, the guarantor, with the costs.
It's a bit thoughtless, really, when you think. You go and rent a house, you've got a guarantor, which is, you know, your fella's mum, and then you don't take the thing seriously. That's frustrating. She says she don't want no to do with this until I've exhausted things with you guys. So I'm happy to do that, as long as you're willing to work with me and sort this out. You left halfway through your tenancy, which, you know, you can't just do that, really. We've had to get it cleaned, we had to get it fumigated for the fleas. The fleas in that house were like nothing I'd seen before. It was like a major problem. We had to do 3 massive fumigation jobs in there. Well, you're saying they came from the rats. From there, it had to be swarmed with rats to get fleas like that. You wouldn't believe the number of excuses you get. Pests and vermin is the tenant's responsibility, not the landlord's. But when it comes to getting rent arrears, you've got to be tough, and I like to think we are tough. So, we can go round in circles here, or we can just sort this out and come to some agreement. We don't give up. One way or another, we have to get this resolved. So we can do it either the easy way or the hard way. Now, I'm in a position where I can negotiate, but it has to be a sensible agreement we come to, and any payment agreement we come to has to be stuck to. If you don't stick to the deal, all gloves are off, we go straight to court. You're looking at an extra couple of grand on top of the money. I'll give you the weekend to look at it and get the anger and frustration out of your system, and then we'll speak sensibly about it, and we can sort it out and put it down as experience. Do you know what I mean?
Paul has given them the option of reaching a settlement and setting up a payment plan.
Thanks for talking to me. All right, love, bye. Oh, well, nice to calm them down.
If he can't strike a deal, Paul will have no choice but to take it up with the guarantor.
If I have no joy with these people, I'm going to go back to her door. And, you know, I see her as a victim, and I don't want to give her any more grief than we have to at the end of the day. I have a job to do, and I need to get it sorted, so just help me sort it out.
Paul did eventually come to an agreement with the tenants to pay off £5,000 towards the arrears and cleaning costs. 6 months on, they're sticking to the payment plan, and the property has been re-let, free from fleas. Next.
Place is just complete wreck.
In Blackpool.
£10,000 worth of damage. It put other people's lives at risk, really.
Just a day in the life of a letting agent. You never know what's going to be around the next corner.
Letting agent John Bartram has a serious case on his hands.
We've recently had a fire, we think down to a cigarette end. Spoke to the tenant this morning. He's devastated really what's actually happened. But we'll just go and have a look to see what damage has actually been done.
When I got the call, I knew it would either be the police or the fire brigade. These issues are on a daily basis.
The fire broke out at the upstairs one-bedroom flat nearly 2 weeks ago.
Well, there's some residue of the fire, of course.
A neighbour downstairs reported the fire, thought to be caused by a cigarette. No one was hurt, and the tenant, Amin, has been temporarily rehoused.
Well, first impressions, it's a right mess. The smell of the smoke actually takes your breath. Yeah. The place is just complete wreck. The cracked window here, that's been generated by heat. So the fire in here must have been quite intense. This must have been the seat of the fire here. A settee here, well, this shows where furniture now has to be fireproof. It looks as if it's worked as it should work. So just excuse me. Up we go. All the smoke detector has all melted here. So all the walls will have to be stripped. The kitchen units replaced. I would estimate, with what I've seen here, somewhere between £7,000–10,000 worth of damage. All of that just for a cigarette burn. The amount of damage that was done to it, there's over a year's rent gone. When you've been in the game as long as I have, it's just run-of-the-mill stuff. Could have been a hell of a lot more serious. It dreads to think what sort of seriousness could have been with an issue like this.
For the tenant, Amin, who wasn't at home at the time of the fire, it came as a shock.
I was just walking back, I saw these fire services, and he asked me which number are you, and I said flat 5, and he said flat 5, and I said yeah. It was just one of those minutes you want to feel like you're dreaming. So I said, is it serious? And he said, yeah, it is. I just lost it, I just fall down and I cried because I'm not insured. I lost most of my properties.
Smoking inside the flat is a breach of the tenancy. He's meeting with John to discuss what happens next.
Just through by a discarded cigarette or whatever it was, nearly £10,000 worth of damage.
Yes.
It could have been a lot more serious. It put other people's lives at risk, really. It's a good job the fire alarm was active.
So obviously it caused a lot of stress for you, and for me. It's not something gonna happen again. That flat, it was so nice, and if you remember, I made it so nice myself.
It was nice. You had got it nice, yes. People think a letting agent, it's just about taking rents. Further from the truth. You've got to be a social worker, you've got to be a mother, you've got to be a father. I like to try and help people. You're fortunate that the landlord had got something very, very similar for you to move into. If possibly on a temporary basis, well,
you can go back. That'd be great. That'd be really good.
With the help of the landlord, John has managed to find Amin a temporary home.
You have been really helpful.
But he'll have to wait to find out if he'll be able to move back into his old home once it's been repaired.
I was happy in the previous property, I got to say. I had, a good neighbour, and, it's something I really look forward to if I can go back.
Seven months on, the flat has been repaired, and Amin has returned home. He no longer smokes inside.